Okay, the crypto system we have discussed so far is all the private key crypto systems, which means the encryption and decryption keys must be kept in secret, and they must be shared between these two parties to communicate each other. And there are several ways to do that, and there are several cases of these keys. Uh, but for that kind of communication, they have to share this key beforehand, and they must be kept in secret, right? So that was the kind of problem for them. So there is another way to share these keys, but still they could keep their messages secret, right? So that is called the public key crypto system, and it's invented around 1970s for that. In this kind of crypto system, encryption key can be public. They just post this key and openly to the public, so anybody could see that and anybody could use it. But to decrypt the secret message, it really takes long time. So we just based on that fact that we can share this encryption key with anybody, but it only can be communicate between two groups who knows this encryption keys or the way to decrypt the secret message. So that was the whole idea about this public key. And there are many such systems out there, but we'll introduce this RSA crypto system in our course. Okay, the main idea of this kind of a public key crypto system is using a trapdoor function, which means to calculate the one way of the function is very easy, but finding the inverse of that is kind of almost impossible. And that's how we can make our encryption key, and it could be shareable with others, but the person who made that encryption key is the only one could make this decryption key, because other people cannot do this part easily, right? So that's the whole idea of this one. So for example, it's very easy to take the differentiation of this function, but it's impossible to get integration of it. The other case is, if you have several numbers, it's easy to calculate the multiplication of them. But if you're looking for the divisor of a certain big number, then it's very hard and very difficult to find. So that kind of style is we can call is a trapdoor function. And mainly for all these difficulties comes from, even we have very strong, powerful computers, there is a kind of limitations of these operations, right? So it takes really long time to calculate the whole possible cases. So these public key systems actually rely on the limitations of our skills of calculation so far. But there is some kind of downside of this using public key systems, because it has many advantages in there, but one of the problem is it really takes a long time to calculate it. Even using computers, still it takes a long time. So it's not good to sending long messages for that. So this system is heavily used for sending that encryption keys or decryption keys for the symmetric crypto system we have done so far. So our messages can be communicated through the old style crypto systems, but you can send these encryption keys for that system through this public key system. So public key system is not really the cipher system, but it's kind of communicate style to sending back and forth of these encryption or decryption keys for other ciphers. So we can keep this encryption or decryption keys secretly, right, for the other systems. So that's the whole purpose of these public key systems. And this whole idea is based on this Kirchhoff's principle. It mentioned that the security of any crypto system must not depend on keeping secret the crypto algorithm, whether as a Byzantine or Hill or just or make a really weird style of your own crypto system, and you may feel like, oh, no one could figure out this method. We cannot rely on that. People will figure out that method. So all the security of that system depends on whether we can keep the key for the encryption or decryption safely. So because of this principle, we could just saying my method is by certain crypto system. You don't need to mention it, but don't rely on that too much, but just try to keep your encryption or decryption keys safely. And our public key system is used to sending this encryption decryption key between these two groups. So please read this part in the lecture note, and in the next section we are going to start how to make this public key exchanging method of the key. Okay?